Hello again. This video is a short introduction to Chapter 2 of A Student's Guide to the Schrödinger Equation. The goal of this chapter, like Chapter 1, is to provide background mathematical concepts and techniques that serve as the foundation for understanding the Schrödinger equation and its wave function solutions. If you've read Chapter 1, you know that a good part of that chapter sought to establish and explain the connection between vectors, abstract vectors, and functions. One extremely important aspect of that connection is the use of the mathematics of vectors to analyze functions, such as finding the components of a vector by using the inner product. In this chapter, that analysis will be extended from vectors to operators and from functions to eigenfunctions. As you'll see, every quantum observable, such as position, momentum, and energy, can be represented by an operator. And the characteristics of that operator determine possible measurement outcomes and the probability of each of those outcomes. You'll also learn that, just as a vector can be represented by a column or row of values, an operator can be represented by a two-dimensional matrix. The eigenvectors of that matrix are those vectors which retain their direction, but not necessarily their length, when the matrix is applied to them. If the length of the vector does change, the eigenvalue associated with that eigenvector tells you how much the application of the operator will cause the vector to grow or shrink. In this chapter, you'll also learn how to represent operators in Dirac notation, why it's important that operators in quantum mechanics are Hermitian, and how to use a type of operator called the projection operator. Putting this all together leads to the concept of expectation values, which are explained in the final section of this chapter before the chapter end problems. As I said in the introduction to Chapter 1, I strongly recommend that you take the time to work through the chapter end problems and the online solutions if you need help before moving on to the later chapters. Okay, that's what you'll find in Chapter 2. I hope you find it interesting and helpful. Thanks.